Hey, welcome back to this episode. Today is a very exciting day. Overwatch Season 20 has dropped and the patch notes are out. We're going to quickly go through these so that I can get you everything that you need to know to get into the game and be your best self. Let's go. All right, so we are here on the patch notes page. So there's a few things, a couple new game modes, or not new game modes, they are game modes that are old, game modes that are coming back in. Starting today, the 9th through the 22nd, you'll have the chance to play one of Overwatch's favorite modes, Mischief and Magic. That's a pretty fun one where it's kind of prop hunt. If you've played Call of Duty and you know what prop hunt is, you know what this is. And if not, jump into it and you're going to find out. It's pretty fun. Basically, it's just a hide and seek game. For the weeks 3 through 4, which is basically December 23rd through January 5th, the mode gets another dollop of Mischief with Mischief and Magic Wonderland. So this one's going to be really cool. It's going to allow the props the ability to damage, or at least to defend themselves against the Genji Knights, or whoever's going to be. I think it's going to be Genji Knights, I'm sure. It says it right here. So, as always, these will be in the arcade mode, so look for it there. You can collect cookies in both of the winter modes that you can give to certain characters, which are Tracer the Elf, Santa Torbjorn, or Junkrat Krampus. And they will have their own rewards based on how many cookies that you give them. We've got some returning modes now. We've got Maze Snowball Offensive, Snowball Deathmatch, Yeti Hunter, and Freeze Thaw Elimination. They're going to be available in the arcade tab and the new game modes tab for the Winter Wonderland event. So we got some general updates. Saves for overhealth. This is kind of interesting. I didn't know that this wasn't a thing. However, all heroes that apply overhealth to allies can now get saves for this if the application is well timed. I don't know that that helps much, except for maybe in some experience gaining so that you can gain levels faster. I'm not certain what the point of that was. However, this is something that's crazy to me. So the aim assist, they increased aim assist strength by 7%. Now, I'm not certain that that's going to help me so much because my aim is usually pretty terrible. However, it could make great players just even more menacing. And so I'm very curious to see if they scale this back during the mid-season patch, but they might not. This might up the playing field for everybody, and we'll see about that. They got some new sensitivity options for your controllers, and also in one of those sensitivity options, it disables the aim assist at max dead zone. And so that's going to be curious to see how that works. Friendly aim assist changes. This is kind of cool too. I like how it only affects Ana, Juno, and Alari support. However, what it did is that, so before, with the aim assist turned way up, you were targeting whoever was in front of you, whether they had full health or not. And a lot of times this got in the way of actually trying to heal your team. And so now you can adjust the level of sensitivity. So default is at 99%. So if your healer or if your teammates are at 100% health, you will not auto-target them at all. If they drop 1 point of health, obviously you would start auto-targeting them. But it's going to be cool to be able to play around with that and adjust it to your specific circumstances and how well you play with her, and see how this changes fights and how it just changes the battlefield for the better, possibly for the worse, but I am assuming it's going to be really, really helpful for most people. Aim assist ease in, I don't really understand that so much. I need to do some research on that and check out why that matters. But obviously the developers thought that was something that was important to put in here. Oh, this is something that JC the Brave 47 is going to love. They have disabled Antarctic Peninsula for the next 2 seasons. So we won't see Antarctic Peninsula until season 22. I didn't mind the map so much. Other people that I play with didn't mind it so much. However, JC the Brave hated it. That was his hated map. I don't know what it is now. It may have changed, but it was his hated map for sure. All right, they've done some competitive updates, which I think for these competitive updates that they're putting out here, it's mainly geared toward the high level streamers and the or maybe not streamers, but the high level players, the top 500s, the bottom 99% of people that are playing this. Probably this doesn't matter for. Just made some more leaderboards, challenge scores, things like that. I'm not going to go through all that because for me and probably the people that are going to be watching me, it's really not important right now. Grouping restrictions, yeah, it still doesn't matter. Oh, this is cool. Here's a new thing that I think is really cool. Cheater compensation. In core competitive modes, role and open queue, players will periodically get rank progress returned from matches that were found to have a cheater. Now, the question that I have is, do they consider somebody using a Zim or a Chronos cheating? And I hope so, because I know for a fact there's been plenty of people that I've played with that have had, well, I don't know this for a fact, but you can reliably guess when somebody's using mouse and keyboard with aim assist. Pretty easy to spot. A new pop-up will appear on login, letting you know about rank progress being returned when the cheater is banned. Rank progress is not subtracted to you if you won with a cheater on your team, that's pretty cool. The technology to operate this system is already included, so you've downloaded the update, it's already in there, but it's not going to take effect immediately. They want to start calibrating the system, and sometime into season 20, they'll start returning rank progress. I'm curious to see if that's going to work on drives too, if you're going to get drive score, because that's a lot of people's bane of their existence is trying to go through these 4-day drives and max those out, and it's like, man, we're playing with cheaters and I'm losing these drive scores. So I'm hoping that this is going to transfer into drive score as well, but we'll see. Once it comes online completely, the delay between character being banned and rank progress being returned will be much shorter. All right, so now this is the stuff that I'm mostly interested in patch notes, and I hope that you are too, is the changes to each character. One thing I'm very disappointed in, they didn't do a Sombra rework. Get that character either out of the game or rework her so that she is survivable, at least for me. I may be in the minority, but I don't know, because she gets banned every single competitive game. Doesn't matter who you're playing, Sombra is banned. So let's figure that out. Come on, Blizzard. So tank. So we're going to go through tank changes now. Junker Queen, she got a small nerf. Her cooldown was increased for her Carnage. Her cooldown was increased for Carnage from 8 to 9 seconds. I think that's going to help fighting against her. When you're a support healing her, that's probably not going to matter so much. Hazard, his wall is getting a little bit of a buff because they changed his block effectiveness recently, and so his wall is going to be buffed up to, I guess, give you a little more options of survivability. Reinhardt, this is kind of I feel like this is a needed change for Reinhardt. His ultimate cost has increased by 9%. Sometimes when you're fighting a great Reinhardt, it seems like he's just earth-shattering over and over and over. And it's like, come on, brother. Let's just make this thing a little bit more cost prohibitive, and they've done that. Thank you, Blizzard, for that one. Sigma, this is really cool too. It says he can struggle to secure eliminations in certain matchups. Increasing direct damage rewards precision and improves key breakpoints when comboing with the rest of his kit. His hypersphere, so his base attack, the impact damage or impact direct damage is increased 15 to 25. So for 15 to 25 extra damage, well, I guess it's not extra, it's part of the damage, and that is going to be very helpful. Bowfisher, I'm looking at you. You need to capitalize on this. JC the Brave, I'm looking at you. You need to capitalize on this. And Thingamabob, I am absolutely looking at you. You need to capitalize on this because all three of you are wonderful Sigma tanks, and this is going to help you out a lot. I'm excited to see how this works for you. Bastion, this is a cool... so now we're moving into the damage characters. This is a really cool a really cool buff for Bastion. His fire rate has been increased from 5 to 6 shots per second with his base fire, with his normal gun. I struggle with Bastion when I'm playing him to hit people because it does seem like there's too much time between each shot to be able to lead somebody well. Some people don't have that problem, but I do, and I know a lot of other people do. And so I think this is going to make him a lot more menacing for the general population to play him. So that's going to be really cool. Freya, her damage has increased from her normal attack 25 to 30. However, her take aim damage has been reduced. Her direct hit damage has been reduced from 40 to 30. Thank you. Explosion damage is reduced from 90 to 80. Thank you. Sometimes she can be such a frustrating character to fight against because she has super high mobility and she can just absolutely delete you out of the game when she's hitting you with those take aims. Her quick dash travel has increased by 15%. That might be a little bit annoying, but we'll see how that works out over the course of this season. And her ultimate, they buffed her ultimate a little bit, which, yeah, it needed it. Her ultimate was underwhelming to say the least. So the hinder duration is increased from 1.2 to 1.4 seconds, and the slow area increase is 25 to 45%. So I think that's going to make her ultimate a lot more user-friendly. Junkrat, this is a cool buff for Junkrat. His projectile speed has increased from 25 to 30, but they didn't change the arc, so it's still going to feel the same, except for it'll be easier to lead somebody and hit them. Same thing as with Bastions. I think that's what they were kind of thinking on with Junkrat and Bastion's buffs here. And the perk called Frag Cannon used to reduce your max ammo by 1. Now it doesn't reduce that. But it does reduce the amount of speed increase of your projectile from 40 to 25%. Should be kind of a wash within that if you choose that perk, but the ammo capacity, that's really helpful there. Reaper, I'm glad they did this. I like playing Reaper. I'm not a Reaper main, but I do like playing Reaper. But sometimes, man, he feels way too survivable. And so they have reduced his lifesteal from his passive from 30 to 25%. And so I'm excited to see how that works out when I'm fighting against a Reaper, but also curious to see how I've got to adjust myself when I play Reaper. And so that's going to be fun. And now this is the one that everybody's excited for this season, right? Vendetta is here. This is going to be a menacing character, and I am so excited to play her. She is going to be just crazy. So what they've done from the trial period to now, they've reduced the recovery times of her overhead smash, whirlwind dash, and projected edge by about 15% to make her a little more mobile, which she was already real mobile, but this is going to be, I think this is going to help her play style a little better. When you throw the little projected sword through your block, it's going to increase from 33 to 37 meters per second. Soaring slice. So when you throw your sword and then you get pulled toward it, I like this. They reduced the distance from 16 to 14 meters. I think that's going to help supports a lot because she is really, to me and to the team that I play with, we have all agreed that she is a support murderer. That's like her job, is to get in the backline, kill a support, and get back out. So I hope that this is going to help protect the backline supports a little bit from her. This is crazy. Siphoning Strike, it's one of her perks. Her lifesteal has increased from 30 to 40%. Can you believe that? Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. But that's just on her overhead swing. So it's not like she's just going to be sucking life from everybody, but it's still, that's a crazy amount. And her Vengeance perk, her Swift Vengeance perk, that's where if you kill the person that killed you the last turn, you get overhealth, and it's increased from 125 to 150. I don't think people were picking that perk much because it's kind of hard to determine if you're going to be able to get that person or not, unless you're just absolutely super mode with that character. However, we'll see. We'll see how that works out. Venture, their shield health gained per ability is reduced from 30 to 25. I don't think that matters too much. Baptiste, this is cool. The cooldown of Bap Lamp is reduced from 25 to 22 seconds. Maybe that'll make it a little more, instead of like saving it for that perfect moment, maybe you'll be able to use it a little more often and help your teammates out. Ilari, I think this is such a needed change for her. They nerfed her ult a little bit. So what they did is they changed the projectile size. It's reduced from 3/4, so 0.75 to 0.45. Well, the reason why they say they did that is it could be intercepted from too far of a distance. So like Diva Matrix could suck it in too far away, or Sigma using his grasp could suck it in too far away. And I think that was their idea there, but it's also, I think, going to help to you as a defender against Ilari get away from her ult a little easier. Because it's like, man, she fires a nuclear sized bomb at your team and it hits everybody every time. I don't care where you're at on it. I could be coming out of the spawn, my team could be at the end, boom, I'm hit by a captive sun. So that's going to be fun to see. Meta Blaster for Juno can now deal crit damage against enemies. Their reasoning for this is that it'll give Juno more of a defensive option against close range threats like a Reaper or a Tracer or something like that. Kariko, tiny bit of a nerf. Her base projectile size is reduced from 0.15 to 0.12. That might stop me from being able to use her to take out enemy Widowmakers, which I do often. However, we'll see. I'm going to play Kariko a little bit more this season and see how she works out. Wu Yang, his movement speed from his rushing torrent is decreased from 50 to 40%. Developers want you to be able to punish him if he uses it incorrectly. And before, they didn't think that was an issue. So that's the end of the hero nerfs and buffs, and just some of the changes that they did to the heroes. Now we're getting into the stadium updates. A lot of it, not that big of a deal. Doomfist has been added. That's going to be very fun to see how he plays out in a stadium match with all of the perks that you get to choose for him and all the items and abilities. I think that's going to be really fun to see how menacing he can be in a stadium match. Wu Yang has been added. I think that's, to me, it's just meh. All of the healers feel a little underwhelming, or all the supports, I should say. All the supports feel a little underwhelming, so we're going to see how well he does. See, get down here. So there is a big rework for Cassidy within Stadium. They just didn't feel like he was performing well, and so they've changed a lot of things up. I'm curious to see. I'm actually really excited to see that, because I tried him in Stadium a couple different times, and I just could not play him well, even with all of his perks. Maybe I was setting him up wrong. And if you have a great Cassidy build, maybe it's going to change with all these things. But if you got a great Cassidy build, put it in the comments below. Let me know what I can do better to play Cassidy in Stadium. Hazard has a little bit of a changes. Orisa, they're just restoring some of the healing from Restorify, which is one of her powers, which I always use when I'm Orisa. Winston, a little bit of a kind of a damage decrease. Genji, kind of a big rework for him too, to make him feel, what do they say, more like a high skill cap assassin instead of just the annoying Genji that's normally there. Juno got a little bit of a update, not big deal. So general item changes for the just general items that aren't hero specific. And there's a new stadium map. It's Wuxing University. It's a water college. It's a control map, and I assume that is where Wu Yang came from. And so, yeah, there's not a whole lot left. There's some FPS issues that they fixed, some hero fixes, and some stadium fixes. And that is the end of the patch notes. So as you can see, there's not, man, it feels a little underwhelming for the patch notes for Season 20. There's some changes that I'm excited about, some changes that I feel like don't really matter. It seems like they did some of these changes just to make changes. And so, this video has ran way longer than I wanted it to, but at least we have all of the patch notes in a quick amount of time. If you don't like the patch notes, or if you like the patch notes, leave a comment in the comment section below telling me what your favorite part about these changes are and what the thing that you hate about these changes are. And let's just enjoy this season. Let's have a positive season 20. And as always, go out, be a good person, hold on with the tea bags for this season. We will catch you on the flip side.